All right, let's move on to the next spot. It is Los Angeles Rams at Minnesota Vikings. Rams in action right now and not playing very well. It is 10-10 here. Oh, sorry. Let's move back to the let's get a update as it stands right now. It is 10-10 and the Rams have the ball at their own 20. A little touchback from Dixon. Should have been able to pin them deep, and the mistake by him punting from the 41. You got to be able to pin a team deep there. It's 10-10 right now. There's 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Both teams hit hard by COVID, but Seahawks missing Lockett and 3 straight years with 1,000 yards, tying the great Steve Largent for the most 1,000-yard receiving years in a row. And Newkirk says Rams off the board. Yeah, it'll come back on the board in a bit. I just saw it. It was 3.5. It was Rams minus 3.5 about when the punt was taking place. So that's the Rams. So let's just take a quick look at their IR right now. And we're going to expect some of these players back. Again, it's Tuesday night while this game's going on. So it's very tricky. But these are the guys that are out right now due to COVID. Defensive tackle Sebastian Joseph Day, safety Terrell Burgess, safety Juju Hughes, tight end Johnny Munt, Okoronkwo, Ogbonnia Okoronkwo, their linebacker, Antoine Brooks Jr., linebacker, Jameel Denby, guard, Joe Noteboom, offensive tackle, Robert Rochelle, cornerback. Oh, he was activated. So he was activated. Oh, but he's already on IR. Sorry, he's on IR my fault. Tyler Higbee, that was the only, and Jordan Fuller. I mean, those are both, and Rob Havenstein. So those are the three guys. Offensive tackle Havenstein, Fuller, the safety, and Higbee, the tight end, are out right now. Those are the big issues for the Rams, and we'll see how they do this. Bernie says, I will say this, with COVID now and all these short weeks, if you blind bet every game under, you will have a monster week. I'm almost halfway there, and we'll be adding a bunch more unders. Newkirk are wondering if it's the Rams to win this game on right now between 4 and 10 points.
No, so, he's commenting on the fact that the graphic says the Rams record is 4-10.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That apologies on our behalf. 9-4, 5-2 on the road. The Vikings come in on short rest after their second straight win, 17-9 at the Bears. Kirk Cousins was 12 of 24 for 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Very, very much like that Carson Wentz performance that we saw this week, where he only threw for 57 yards. Both teams won. He was sacked 4 times. Justin Jefferson caught 4 passes for 47 yards and a touchdown. Dalvin Cook had 28 carries for 89 yards. DJ Wanham, 8 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Are you kidding me? Vikings defense forced and recovered 3 fumbles, and they've got COVID issues. Right now, wide receiver Dan Chisena, he's not used very much as a wide receiver. He can return punts and kicks. He's not used that much there either. But Alexander Madison, who is unvaccinated, so he needs 10 days off, and then the positive test. Daniel Hunter and Dede Westbrook all on the COVID list, and Adam Thielen remains out of the lineup with an ankle injury. Here we go. It's a tricky cap, and we don't need to spend too much time on it because the Rams are in play right now. But, Bebsy, your thoughts on this spot coming up in 5 short days? Rams on a short week at the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Vikings or no bet here. Again, because of the extra short week, all the COVID issues, they have to travel to Minnesota. Just a really, really difficult spot for these Rams. So, yeah, I have an inkling to take the Vikings and the points here. This Vikings team is overwhelmed in many different spots this year. Underwhelmed. Did I say overwhelmed? I meant underwhelmed. But it's also very tough to make a prediction. We don't know what can happen between now and the end of this Rams game. So, if Matt Stafford gets injured and you've already bet the Vikings, then you're laughing. So it's true gambling. If you're just betting on a team when you don't know anything about who's going to be able to play next week. But in saying that, the Vikings would be my lean if I had to play here, if I had to pick something. I'm obviously not going to move on this until I know a little bit more about the Rams and their COVID and their potential injuries between now and the end of football. I mean, you don't you don't like to say it. I'm not trying to jinx it, and I certainly hope they all finish this game healthy. But until you know that information, I think it's irresponsible to bet.
The Vikings are in a very enviable situation, being at home against a very tough opponent who's in action right now, will hop on the plane tomorrow, and it's way, way behind the 8 ball. This Rams team is way, way behind the 8 ball. And again, though, Madison isn't the only unvaccinated player on the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is as well. And it's always dangerous. It's always dangerous when a team has COVID issues to make a bet early on them. Tasha says Vikings won't win, but it certainly is a great, great spot for the Vikings right now. And I'm going to want to move on them. Slatsy says these Vikings really know Stafford. I think that's a good point. But I'm very interested in what the line's going to be. And when you say I'll take the Vikings with the points, my initial thought is, how many are you going to get? With the way the Rams are savaged right now with injuries and having to travel here, how would the Rams be more than a 1-point favorite? I don't know. I don't think there will be points to have. I think they're just in too difficult a situation. Clearly, they're the better football team, but this is a very, very tough situation.
Well,
I think
the Vikings have underachieved so much this year. They are better than 6 and 7. They have more talent than 6 and 7. Yeah, they've had some injuries, but they've lost a lot of close games. And again, that speaks to the head coach. When you're losing that many close games, then Zimmer's got to go.
Zimmer's got to go.
But that's the trouble in betting against a team like the Vikings, is they have the talent to win games. And coming up against Los Angeles in this tough spot, they can do it. I'm not saying they're going to, again, because I do not trust Mike Zimmer. But they can do it. They can very easily upset the Rams.
God, imagine that. Imagine if the Rams lose here. I mean, could the 49ers get a chance to possibly play for a division title if they win out? All right. Slatsy says tough call to grab early with non-vaccinated quarterback with COVID raging. I think that's the issue. And how much will that hurt you waiting? I don't think it'll hurt you that much.
Like I said before, you have to wait regardless in this game. There's just you can't bet a team assuming nothing happens between now and the end of a game where, listen, we all know the Seattle Seahawks are a dirty football team. I expect cheap shots in this game.
And yes, Harold, the Vikings are 7-7. Rams are 9-4. I'm not sure the records on the screen. I apologize for that.